Adulting can cause lots of anxiety. There are so many things to keep track of. Most of us are good at focusing on one thing at a time, but when it comes to balancing many things, it can be a struggle. Luckily, we live in a time where we have help at our fingertips. Yes, adulting is stressful, but I'm here to remind you there's an app for that. For almost any issue or problem you have, you can probably find an app that will help. The first app I want to talk about is Gmail. There are so many tips and tricks you can find online to help you use Gmail more efficiently and more effectively. I'm going to talk about 3 that I like, but you go on YouTube, you will find so many more. I like Archive. When I get an email and I know I might want to find it later, but I don't need it in my inbox right now, I archive it. I can always search for it later. It will be in my all mail folder, but it's not clogging up my inbox. I also like to label emails if they're all part of the same project or maybe from the same person, and I want to be able to quickly find them all. I can click on the folder and they will all come up. If they stay in my inbox, as you can see, they also have color-coded labels on them, which can sometimes help if you're a visual person. The last Gmail feature I want to talk about is snooze. So you get an email, you know you're not going to do anything with it till tomorrow at noon, right? You don't need to remember it till then. You don't need to think about it till then. Snooze it. Set the time, and it will pop back up into your inbox at that time, as if it's like a new email. At any time, if you need to find it before then, it'll be in the snoozed folder. So it's not like it's gone, but it's just a good way for it to pop up and remind you. Another thing that can be useful when you're trying to balance and be a good adult are timers and alarms. Obviously, your phone comes with an alarm. Use it. Set reminders to take your meds. Set a 20-minute timer and clean your room, and when it beeps, you're done. There's also other apps you can get. Time Timer is that one that's up in that top right corner. It has visual, so you can see the time decreasing. Another option that's very similar is called Visual Timer Countdown. There's also an app called Seconds where you can set multiple timers. And if you struggle to wake up in the morning, you could use I Can't Wake Up. It forces you to do a task to be able to turn off your alarm. So maybe you could set it so you have to do a math problem before you can turn off your alarm, or you have to shake your phone for a certain amount of time. So it really wakes you up and doesn't allow you to just hit snooze. Habits and tasks are another thing that we deal with a lot when we are adults. You might want to gamify your habits and track them with Habitica. There's actually lots of other apps that help you gamify your tasks. Streaks is an app that helps you keep track of how many days in a row you have done a habit. There's ones Do It Now, Chore Wars, Google Keep. If you are using Gmail or Google Calendar and you already have a Google account, use Keep. It's that top middle one. It creates like kind of little sticky notes within the app. You can do to-do lists, you can check things off, and it can also sync with your Google Calendar. Another thing is another app, Can Plan. So that's the one in the bottom right corner. So you can take pictures of yourself doing the steps. So maybe you always forget a part of a task you're doing. This, you can go through the steps and see a picture, visual prompts of the different parts. Many of us deal with sensory overload. Maybe you're sensitive to sound or touch or lights, and sometimes you feel overwhelmed. There are apps you can have on your phone that can assist you in dealing with that. One is called Emergency Chat. It was actually created by someone on the autism spectrum, and you can put in pre-programmed messages that when you are feeling overwhelmed, you can pull that up and hand it to someone. You can see here they have a message. I gave you my phone because I can't use or process speech right now. And so you can use that to communicate with others. Other ones, Heat Pad, Miracle Modus, you can see those on the far right. Those are just apps that can help with sensory. The one you make cool shapes, and the other one, it's like your phone is reactive to heat. Insight Timer and Calm are both meditation apps, but they can also, can listen to soothing noises, go through like relaxation prompts. And then there's a website called sensoryapphouse.com where there are tons of sensory apps, and you could probably find one that would fit your preferences, and you could download that, have that ready when you're feeling overwhelmed. Using Google Calendar, have it on your phone. It can pop up and remind you of things. You can have a to-do list on it, tasks, reminders. There's different views you can use. So you can see a month at a time, a week at a time, a day at a time. And you can color code different events if you're a visual person. Google Calendar is super useful and can help you keep your life organized. Mood tracking. Maybe when you're feeling sad, you feel like you have felt sad your whole life and you can't remember feeling happy. Or maybe when you're really happy, you forget that sometimes you feel sad. And just staying aware of your feelings and how your moods change. Sometimes it's really useful to track your moods. There are a ton of free mood tracking apps out there. Some that I like are Mood Panda, Moodily, Dailyo, Worry Watch, and Mood Path. And they all are slightly different. Mood Path is one in the top right hand corner. It will ask you questions like, have you been feeling really anxious lately? And you click yes or no. Other ones, you just choose your mood, click on the number or the color or the emoji that matches that, and it'll keep track. You can see broader patterns, and it can be useful, especially if you are on like anxiety meds or working with a therapist. Sometimes it's nice to collect that data. And finally, budgeting. Budgeting is a big part of being an adult, and sometimes it can be really hard to manage. There are, again, lots of apps out there, but some that are great are Mint. That's that top right-hand one. You can see different views of your money. It can connect to your bank account. You can see what you're spending your money on. Digit is that bottom left, so you can visually see getting closer to your goals that you've set. Pocket Guard is that bottom right. You can see how much money you have in your quote-unquote pocket. And then Clarity Money is just another app that's great. When you have overwhelming feelings because adulting is hard, don't forget that there's technology that can help you. There are so many more apps out there. Just search for what you need and you can probably find it. So don't forget, there's an app for that. Technology is here to help. And hopefully you can reduce your anxiety and enjoy adulting.